So, hi there everybody. Time for me to comment on your comments. I'm sorry, I got called away yesterday and I finished here. Yeah? So, with VG, never trust that flim-flam people unless you know that they really have changed. As I said before, I'm not very happy about using flim-flam as an adjective. I would probably put something like never trust people who flim-flam. I might even go as far as to say never trust flim-flammers. Yeah, but as an adjective, try and avoid using it as an adjective. I don't think it feels very natural. And we've got one from Vibes here. Woo. Vibes. The swindlers, disguised as salespeople, attempted to pass off a really old piece of machinery as a brand new computer at the new market. But their sly and suspicious demeanour, good English, led to passers-by second-guessing the prices of their bargainous device. And assaying the quality of the computers being sold. The sense of trust between the buyers and the sense of trust and camaraderie, good, between the buyers and the sellers began to repine. Love it. The small number of people who'd bought the item repined about their mistake and gullibility as soon as they registered how customers had been deceived and the disappearance of the swindlers. Upon hearing multiple claims and complaints in respect of the conditions at the market, they decided to take action. When it came to light, there had been blatant financial flim-flammery, love it, which wasn't credible and aimed to cheat money out of people. Thereat, the ministry mounted surveillance cameras at the marketplace and imposed a rule that whosoever flim-flammed people fraudulently gained money by artifice, trading possessions, or made an attempt thereat, I like that thereat, would be jailed. Good. So this is very good vibes. One of the things that would help me a lot when reading is some punctuation. Yes, you've got full stops, but I need some commas as well. The language is really good. I love your use of repine, camaraderie. I quite like this word bargainous. Yeah. I might just say bargain device, but it works very, very nicely. Good English. I love its vibes. And VG says, happy birthday, all the best. Yeah, happy birthday again. Okay, and let's continue. Yep, it started with me. Yes, it did, VG. So, what's the difference between start off, start out? Please. Shall we start by introducing ourselves? Shall we start off by introducing ourselves? Shall we start out by introducing ourselves? Okay, in these three examples, I think they're exactly the same. Start more general. Start off to the beginning of something, whereas start out gives me the idea of starting a journey, starting from one place to another. You're going along a road or something like. You start out a journey particularly, whereas to start off means the initial phase of something. But effectively they're all the same. It's just a slight difference in nuance. Okay. Shoik. Maybe. Let's see. Argy-bargy, flim-flam. I love words like this. Please make more videos like this. I'm glad you loved it. Shloiek. I would say shloiek, but maybe I'm wrong. And thanks for impact on. My pleasure. Happy belated birthday to you, Vibes. I couldn't find you here because your comment has been deleted by YouTube. The comments are coming and going. They clearly have problems with them. And Manny. Hi, Manny. Great to see you. There are many phonies these days. It's outright nonsensical. I love this phrase. I don't buy the big words. I think it's all a bunch of cobblers. I have a radar for these lads. I can spot their flimflams from yards away. Good English, Manny. I love it. And what's the difference between turn on, off, switch on, switch off? Turn on, turn off, switch on, switch off. I think they're probably absolutely the same. It was hot, so I turned on the fan so that we could all get cooled off, cooled down. It was so hot I switched on the fan so that we could get cooled off, cooled down. I think they're both exactly the same. Turn it on, switch it on, turn it off, switch it off. Yeah, I would say they're identical. Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe the difference is one you turn, yeah, you've got something click, and the other one you switch, click. Yeah, but I don't think there's any difference apart from that. My pleasure, VG. And Manji. Hi, Manji. Klausner's theory that plants make shrieking sounds on being cut was at first considered to be nothing but flim-flam. Moreover, the brilliant scientist couldn't help being caught in a bit of argy-bargy with his landlord, whose sleep got stymied by Klausner's late-night experiments. Bugger off, you nuts! Okay, I think bugger off, you're nuts. You are nuts, bellowed the angry landlord. I need a sound sleep and not a sound machine. Good English, I love it. Yeah, it's interesting, this theory about plants. I think if you cut a plant, clearly there's an electrical reaction, but if that's actually screaming, that's another very big step. Well done, Manji, thank you. Cheers for answering and hearting my comments. Absolutely, no problem. And to overplay, yes, to put too much emphasis on something. Ronan, jolt or jerk? You've only heard of jerk off. It's maybe what your mind's thinking of, Ronan. To jerk, to move suddenly. Yeah. Stop jerking my chain. This guy's a bit of a jerk. Yeah. Jerk pork. Okay. And pass off, pass as, definitely. What's the difference between many, quite a lot of, and quite a few? And how should I use quite a bit, please? So, there were many people present. There were quite a lot of people present. There were quite a few people present. I think that the meaning is absolutely the same. Yeah? There were many people present. Probably a little bit more neutral. Quite a few. This is maybe a little bit more informal, and quite a lot of, maybe closer to many. Yeah, there were quite a few people. You could also say quite a bit of. There was quite a bit of noise. There was quite a bit of flim-flam. There was quite a bit of argument about this. Yeah, let's see. I think quite a bit of plus adjective. Quite a bit of difficulty. Well, that's a noun. Quite a bit, yeah, of noun. Quite a bit of argument. Sorry, so quite a bit plus noun. Quite a lot of people. Quite a few people. Many people. I think maybe quite a bit of is a little bit more informal, but very marginally. I think quite a few sounds a little bit more literary in speech. Yeah, yeah. There were really quite a few people there. Notice you've got to add the quite, because otherwise there were few people there, or a few people there. It has a very different meaning. I can't find any serious difference between them. Okay, yes, quick, fast, rapid, thank you. Speed and velocity. So I think velocity talks about linear speed, as in kilometers per hour, meters per second. Yeah? Speed can also talk about linear velocity, but you can use speed metaphorically to talk about many other things. The speed that he works at, the speed of reply, the speed of change. Yeah, it's talking about something that takes a short time, whereas you might expect it to take longer. Yeah. Okay, these two I know. These two are very easy. Safety, I'm certain I've got a video on this as well. Safety talks about accidents. Security talks about making precautions against people doing malicious things. So you have security to stop terrorists coming into a building, whereas you have a helmet to stop for safety. Yeah, if there's an accident, then we're talking about safety. But security stops people doing silly or dangerous things that could harm a third person. Yeah, so in the you go to the airport, there's a security check to make sure that there's nobody with bad intentions. Security is about the actions of people. Yeah, you have a security guard outside a building, yeah, or outside a bank, trying to ensure that that people don't do bad things. Whereas safety is talking about accidents, yeah? So, for example, a safety belt in a car, yes? Safety is in case of an accident. And my pleasure, VG. And a view to kill. View and see. Very good. Very good, Dommy. And Frantic by Metallica. Frantic. Yeah, that's very good. Frantic, unbridled, frenetic, frenzied. And, okay, to take reparative action. Yeah, it's a good phrase, fairly formal. So, Joao Victor Giusti. There's no denying that we live in a golden age of language learning. I mean, we're one. I mean, we're one Google search away from getting an answer, a riposte, in a video, from a video like this. Good, Joao, thank you. Great to see you. Sup? What's up? Awesome, brother. Thanks a lot, man. Love you, sir. Okay, very informal English, but perfectly good. And Mohammed, Mr. Music, great to see you. A famous Egyptian folk song that's 10 years old, a special gift, my dear teacher. Ooh, this sounds interesting for later consumption. And thank you again, Mr. Music. And again, Mr. Music. A very special 55-year-old gift for the first pyramid of Egypt. Kulthum. Ooh, so thank you again. And more. Thank you, Mr. Music. Wow. Very generous of you, Mr. Music. And Afzal, unflinching seems suitable. Definitely. And Mohammed, more music. Thank you, Mr. Music. And Mr. Albunaga, Mohammed Albunaga, true to form. You're teaching us English in an effective way. It's par for the course that you're teaching us English in an effective way. Good, well done. For learn. I hadn't watched this lesson. Thank you, sir. I have a question. Can I use the verbs include and depend in the continuous form? It is including. It is depending on. They don't sound very good. Yeah, they don't sound very good, either of these, in a continuous form. Yeah, I think much better with it. It's all depending on. It all depends on. I think depend you might in certain circumstances, but I would recommend you use include and depend in simple forms only. Haul someone over the coals. Good. I also saw it used this way, haul ass, meaning to be quick about doing something. Very American. We need to haul ass if we're not going to be late. And Mandican, great to see you. Yeah, you clearly gave the video the once over. Replete, stuffed. Very good, Mohammed. And 40 love. Hi 40, great to see you. Bernie Murdoch is a classic example of a flim-flam man. Good. And Hendry, hi Hendry. May you explain the difference between prognosticate, foretell, and predict? He prognosticated it. I think I might make a video on this. Prognosticate, foretell, and predict. Clearly, at first, my first reaction to this is these are all very near synonyms and probably interchangeable. I think prognosticate certainly is a much more formal verb. Yeah. I think you prognosticate is judging on evidence, judging on something that you've seen. Foretell, maybe it's just a guess, maybe it's a gut feeling, maybe you've got evidence, maybe you've got psychic powers. And predict. Okay, predict gives us, I think, is more evidence-based. Prognosticate, I think, is a much more scientific basis. Predict, you're probably using evidence, and foretell, we don't really know. Thank you, Hendry. And Bao, hi Bao Tran. Peer pressure engenders young adults to improve themselves. Very good English. I like your example. And Guizdo. I've been playing video games, and each time I hear a word that I don't know, I look it up. That's brilliant. The game allows me to repeat the dialogue, and that helps me to understand what they've said before. It's such a good way to learn English, and I've accumulated some quite useful words like this one. I love this example. Yeah, video games, I know people say lots of bad things about them, but I don't know, something like GTA, they're all of these phrases. If you learn these phrases, it's going to do wonders for your English. Very good. Also, they're repeated and repeated until you get them right. And Bao Chan, I espouse the method of watching YouTube videos to engross new vocabulary. That's very good indeed. I love it, Bao. And Todd Ernst, would this work? The student militated the new dress code at school. They thought the dress code was already too strict. Yes, I think I might include the word against, because if you say they militated the new dress code, it doesn't say if they're in favour or against, and I would prefer an against with this, but it certainly works, Todd Ernst. Yeah, militated, they promoted, but it doesn't say how. Yeah. Boris, hi Boris, great to see you. Teacher Alex, Michael Jackson in his song Beat It says, you better run, you better run, you better do what you can. Sometimes I learnt the structure had better do, which means it is advisable to do. If you don't do, there will be a problem or a danger. Good. My doubts are, is this structure the one used by one Michael used? Yes, it is. But what he's done is he's taken out the D. Yeah? And it should say, you'd better run, you'd better hide. You better run, you better do what you can. It should have the D. Normally, you'd better with an apostrophe D. Yeah, you had better. So I hesitated because he perhaps omitted had. Yes, he's omitted the had, yeah, where he technically shouldn't have. But this is music, and with rhyme and singing, you'd better. It just adds another sound, which also this is very and therefore to take out even the littlest bit makes it sound better. Yeah. Okay. How common is had better in everyday speech? You'd better. Notice you had better. It's much more common you'd better, he'd better, I'd better. Just with the contraction. You can use had to add emphasis to it. I think it's very common indeed. I think this is something native speakers use the whole time for suggestion. You'd better do it like this. You'd better come early. Very definitely. Use it often, Boris. And hype. NT, even my words. So, going back to square one. I like the name. Thank you, going back to square one. Hype. Okay, and AK, great to see you, AK. This was the writing. Nitu. Mentors advised us not to write movie scripts or fictional stories in the assignments and flim-flam them for extra marks. Instead, they advise us to keep the assignments to the point and only include compendious content to gain good scores. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see, when writing, if you can keep to the point, yeah, it sounds very good. Quintessence and epitome. So karma, yes, very definitely. Quintessence and epitome. This is the quintessence of perfection. This is the epitome of perfection. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I like that synonym. And Inju Juan, hi. Hello, dear teacher. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for sharing this. It's really helpful. My special thanks for your commenting on comments videos. Thanks to the community of learners, I'm happy to be a tiny part of it. My question is about words. Prophecy, professor, and profession. Are they of the same root? This one I'm going to have to look up. So bear with me a sec. Okay, so let's see. Firstly, let's look at a prophecy is something that you tell. Yeah. Whereas, okay, a professor, a teacher. Let's look at the word prophecy. Okay, so what have we got for the origin of prophecy? Okay, so it comes from French, yeah. Prophétie, a prophet as well. But let's see. Let me keep looking. I'll be with you in a second. No, I think I'm going to have to keep this for later and look into it. Prof, to profess. To profess is to say that you believe something. I'm going to write a note. Sorry, prof prefix. Maybe that's even an interesting video in itself. Thank you, Injujuan. And AK47. Hello, sir. For intransitive verbs like die and break. To break. Let's break. Okay. It broke after falling to the ground. It broke falling to the ground. It broke from falling to the ground. It broke by falling to the ground. That's interesting. Let's see. I would firstly have to say none of them are wrong. It broke after falling to the ground. This is perfectly good. It broke falling to the ground. I like this one a lot. It broke from falling to the ground. This one I'm much less happier with. It broke as a result of falling to the ground. It broke as a result of falling to the ground. I'm not very happy with the from. It broke by falling to the ground. This is valid again. I would probably say the fall broke it. Yeah. You see, also, you're saying break is intransitive, but I think very often we use break as a transitive verb. Yeah. The fall broke the vase. Falling to the ground broke it. Yeah. It broke falling to the ground. This works nicely. It broke after falling to the ground. Perfectly valid. That's a difficult one. I think I would avoid the from and by making it transitive. Okay. And Giliola. Hi, Giliola. It's possible that the truths of half the world are based on flim-flam. Only half, Giliola? I think probably more than that. Some people are so good at telling them that it's hard to believe they are lies. Okay, that's very good. I love what you've said here. Very good, Giliola. Very deep as well. Absar. Hi, Absar. Every free nation has a flag of its own. Hence, we have a national flag too. Yeah, very good, Absar. Okay, Sergio Alejandro Durante Viate. But if I want to solve any problem, would it not be better to use figure out? Thanks. Yes, I think you figure out a problem. I think figure out is better, because figure out is the thinking part of sort out. But you could sort it out in your mind. Yeah, I think sort out is probably more physical. I need to sort out this problem. You could use that, definitely. But I think I need to figure out how. Yeah, figure out, it gives more emphasis on the thinking process. I need to figure out how to sort out this problem. Thank you, Sergio. And Giliola. It is evident that one should never arrive at a quarrelsome behaviour. Woof, no, I don't like this much. Let's read it. Terribly wears out a fight, but in certain moments of life it's surprising how you can't help but just tussle. Okay, so from the but you're perfectly fine. Yeah, but in certain moments of life it's surprising how you can't help but just tussle. Good. It's evident that one should never end up quarrelling. One should never get to the point where you quarrel. A fight wears one out terribly. A fight wears you out terribly. Wears people out terribly. Yeah? So, yeah, it's evident that you should never reach the extreme of quarrelling or the extreme of quarrelsome behaviour. Yeah, it's evident that you should never reach the extreme of quarrelsome behaviour. It's terribly, it wears you out terribly. It leaves you terribly, a fight leaves you terribly worn out. But, and then you're fine from there. Thank you, Giliola. AK, what's the difference between to provide and to provide with? They provided food. They provided us with food. There's a difference to start with. Okay, so provide. You don't have the. They provided food. They provided us. That's interesting. Okay, so the direct object of provide is the thing provided. Yeah, they provided food, they provided money, they provided help. Yeah, whereas They provided help to us. If you use the with, you need to specify the person. They provided food to us. They provided help to us. They provided us with help. Yeah? I think this changes the direct object. I'm going to think about it, but let's see. If you use provide, you need to define who received it. And hi, 47, great to see you. And 47. The speech that he gave was a farrago of opinion across different political ideologies, so that no one from his audience loathed him. He's trying to be all things to all men. Okay, but I think taking the best from each different ideologies is good. Take the good things and reject the bad, and then see what you've got. The problem is very often you end up with dichotomies. And 40. Even though India has got so many languages, all of them are spoken mixed with English in everyday life. Yes, I've heard that. I hear two people speaking Hindi and then suddenly there's an English word in the middle. The farrago of languages sometimes throws people off, but most of us are used to speaking good that way. If I were to speak only my native language, it would be impossible. If I were, hypothetically you don't, yeah? If I speak only my English language, only my native language, it's going to be impossible. If I were to speak, it would be impossible. It would be impossible. So, 47. And Roland. The Question Hotel is the landmark of this quaint town. The building can boast a synthesis of classic and modern architectural styles. Very definitely. It's not a Gallifrey of styles. And 40. She is said to take after her mum, but all qualities that she's endowed. So she's said to take after her mum, but all the qualities that she is endowed with are, because they're plural, a farrago of those of her mum and dad both. I like your both at the end there, including some atavistic qualities that her families on both her mum's and dad's side embody. Good English, well written, AK. Good work. And 40. The blood-curdling story that she's going to be relating on the show, the blood-curdling story that she's going to be relating on the show is going to be a farrago of her experiencing a paranormal incident and some concocted stories to spice it up. Very, very good, 40. And, so being someone who's used to cooking and eating Indian pasta, I tried to make Italian pasta. But what it ended up being was a gallimaufry of the tastes of the two countries. That's very good. I'll give you a tip making pasta. You want to make good pasta, don't boil the pasta in water. Boil the pasta in your sauce. So make a tomato sauce, a vegetable sauce with tomato, and keep it reasonably liquid. And then take your pasta and put it in that sauce. But take your pasta raw, uncooked, put it in and get it to absorb all of your sauce. It's much, much, much tastier. Yeah? Don't boil it in water. Boil it in the sauce and get the pasta to suck it up. Roland. She's been suffering a different kind of phobia. She's been suffering different kinds of phobias since she could remember. Namely just a few. I would hear to name just a few. Acrophobia. The fear of heights. Acrophobia. I thought that was, acrophobia, fear of open spaces. Claustrophobia, the irrational fear of confined places. She tried a gallimophry of methods to appease her mind. Good English. Yes, it's acrophobia. I was thinking about agoraphobia, fear of open spaces. Acrophobia. Thank you, Roland. My bad. And Count, great to see you. So some people are just a few sandwiches short of a picnic to tell flimflam and believe that it is true. It's something pathological. Pathological liars. Absolutely, Count. Great to see you. Stay safe. And AK, the movie, which I think could have been better, was a farrago of comedy, drama, action, and whatnot. I love the whatnot at the end. That's great, AK. And, so, 40. What non-native speakers read and write in pure English is a farrago of correct English and some incorrect grammar that may be appropriate in their languages, but not in English. For instance, I remember telling you that I love the way you take my name. It should have been I love the way you say my name. I said take my name because this is how it works in my native language. I'm thinking, one of the 10 Commandments, you mustn't take the Lord's name in vain. And you could use take there, but no, very definitely. Good, but you see, you learnt the lesson, AK. I'm trying to get rid of my mother tongue's influence. Yes, if you can take away the influence of your mother tongue, it's very important, because if you're thinking in your mother tongue, you end up with systematic errors that you always make because it sounds correct in your own language. And Manji, hi there Manji. The account of the sailor who survived the shipwreck was a farrago of facts and fiction. Very good English, I love it. Sir, where is my comment on flimflam gone? Okay, it was there. It might have disappeared, but I commented on it, and I know you've got another version of it above. So, Manji, if in doubt, comment the same thing several times. I have no problem with that. Yeah, if YouTube can't make their system work, then don't worry about it. Maybe you can't see it. I could see it. I don't know what's happening with the comments. YouTube. And 40. The fact that the part he played was a farrago of an antagonist and a protagonist left his audience baffled. I love it. I love that. It's really good. Well done, 40. You see, I've gone from AK to AK-47 to 47 to 40. And I think you're going to end up with 40. Yeah, maybe I'll come back to 40 after that. So, P, good morning, P. Lovely to see you. Gallimophry farrago. Ooh, I know I'm going to wallow in these two crazy words all day. They're great words. And that I might even be tempted to use them in a bar. Sales would skyrocket. Male heads would be turned. I would never be blotto, and all because of a mischievous medley of two wicked words. I really like these two words. They're very literary words. They're unusual, but they're not so unusual as to be in outer space. And definitely use them. If we can bring back these two words, I think it would be a great thing, P. Please use them. Roland, great to see you, Ro. We can find a myriad of mutual relationships, both in the animal kingdom and the modern society of human beings. Good sentence. The cooperation between the tiny oxpecker and the robust rhino perfectly illustrates the symbiotic relationship in nature. Love is more important than money in nature. We provide food and give shelter to the most deprived people, specific group, and they refrain from committing any kind of crime. So, we provide food and shelter to the most deprived people, and they refrain from committing any kind of crime. Thank you, Roland. And Arif, it's really helpful. Glad it was helpful. Nice to see you, Arif. Thank you. And 40. My answer sheet was a farrago of both good and bad handwriting, depending on the time left. Good, well done, 40. And Arif, thanks, excellent. I'm glad you enjoy these videos, Arif. Roland, there was an argy-bargy amongst renowned scientists when a tribal chief declared that he is able, I think was would sound better, to cure the most severe malady, such as cancer. I think I would probably make this plural. He's able to cure the most severe maladies, such as cancer. You could use malady, but because here it could be uncountable, but I think I would make it countable and say such as cancer. AK 40. Can I use despite having done to refer to something I did in the past, but it has a clear effect in the present? Yes, you can. Despite having done my homework, I was accused of not doing it. Yeah, despite having put a lot of effort into this, I am still unable to answer this question. Yes, definitely, 40. Arif, thank you. Great to see you. And Arif, fantastic. Yes. And thanks, a very good explanation. Scorn, disdain, spurn, contempt, deride, and pillory. So, Arif, you are one of the best teachers. I've never seen a teacher, such a clever teacher like that. Fantastic. Thank you, Arif. And a congeries. Wow, that's a brilliant word, Pierre. I love that word. A congeries. I probably should have included. So, Abid. Hi, Abid. Transmission. So, to transmit from one place to another. So, for example, Abid, in your car, the transmission is the thing that takes the movement of the engine and transmits it, sends it to the wheels, yeah? And that's the transmission, okay? The transmission of the signal, the movement of something from one place to another. To transmit, a transmitter, to send information, power, energy from one place to another. Normally you transmit non-tangible things, yeah, things that aren't real or that you can't touch, yeah. So transmit information, to transmit electricity, to transmit a program. That's but you still can't touch it. Okay, and this is the idea of transmission. Okay. And count. I put a micro SD card in the wrong slot on my gizmo. Now I have to tussle with it because the card is stuck. That's not the first time that's happened to me. Term and condition. Okay, so, Abid, I think terms is certainly a more legal phrase. Yeah? I think conditions let's start with conditions and a conditional. If, then something will happen. If you are late, you will get a bad mark. That's a condition. Yeah, I think terms, the terms of the contract, the conditions of the contract, I think almost always these are very, very similar. But we parted on good terms, with a good relationship, but not on good conditions. So terms, very definitely, terms are the conditions in a contract. The price is stipulated in the terms. Um, the price that will be paid is one of the terms of the contract. A term is like a line. For example, doing mathematics, x plus y equals 3. An equation with the terms x and y. Whereas I wouldn't use these as conditions. So terms, a business or contractual or legal word meaning condition. I think conditions much more general and with many other meanings as well. So I hope that's helped, Abid. Whatever Gallimafrey, a famous artist, paints, it will be sold. Yes, the pile of bricks in the Tate Gallery. Very good. I quite agree. If you're famous, yeah, he's famous. Please sign my shirt, and then I can sell the shirt for 100,000 euros. Nitu, hi there, Nitu. In the early morning hours, the brain tends to conceive positive thoughts. Positivity oozes out of it, and it exhibits in your behaviour. I think I would use the word it manifests in your behaviour. It exhibits. It is exhibited. It is exhibited in your behaviour. It manifests in your behaviour. But in the night hours, it starts facing a farrago of feelings, probably because of perturbing incidents you come across during the daytime. That's very interesting. I like your theory. Good English. Okay, unflinching was the answer to yesterday's question. And Cœur de Montespan. So in her dream she was pondering working on a short story called The Unflinching Gaze. This might be a student's lovely homage to her avuncular tutor. Thank you. Ever so grateful for his amazing tuition. How I would love to write it. Tiny PS. Which tag applies, applies, not is applying, best suiting might? So, yeah, mightn't. Yeah, so he might arrive early, mightn't he? Yeah, we might do it, mightn't we? But notice, may. He may do it, mightn't he? Mayn't he? Mayn't doesn't work. So with might, yes, but with may, be careful. Thanks a million in advance. It's a very good question. I'm going to write it here because I'm not sure Montespan has sussed these yet. Might it not? I need an H. So, it might be. Might it not? But mayn't does not exist. Sorry about the capitals, but, well, I'm not going to rewrite it. So, that's very good. And Akram, hi Akram's Literature World. A huge thank you for the video. I watched it umpteen times. I found your feedback to the essay immensely helpful. It gave me invaluable guidance and an idea on how to approach a C2 writing tasks. More of these videos would be appreciated. Please try to do a variety of writing genres. Review, report, letter to help us with C2 writing tasks. One of the most difficult parts in the Cambridge exam. Okay, I'm going to give you a link to the playlist, Akram, because there are probably 100 essays. Yeah? Okay, Nitu. Many chefs of today experiment with authentic dishes of the olden times and try to club together, club different recipes together, and thus many makeovers look like a gallimiphry of popular, authentic dishes. You see, I think many of the old-fashioned dishes are very, very simple. And in my opinion, simple cooking is by far and out the best way of cooking things. Yeah? But nowadays the chefs need to find new things and new flavors to differentiate themselves. Yeah? And therefore their makeovers end up like a gallimiphry of popular authentic dishes. I love it. And Aditi, to impinge on, right as ever, great to see you, Aditi. Impinge, well done, P. And I was all keyed up yesterday because I saw a very elegant item of appareil that I have set my little heart on buying as soon as my meagre finances permit. Then I had an animated discussion with some friends on the intricacies of applying nail polish. Later on there was some shooting of a film going on, and as some of the streets were cordoned off, I was very lucky to have two guys escort me half the way home. This is no flim-flam story, but real life drama, and I wish I could live it every day. It sounds really good. So notice this here, this phrase, the way she's used flim-flam story. This is not an adjective. This is a noun-noun construction. This is no flim-flam story. And like that, it works. But avoid using it as an adjective, VG and others. Okay? So, this sounds really interesting. And Manji, to impinge on, very definitely. And for your benefit, I'm going to read it again, Manji. Klausner's theory that plants make shrieking sounds on being cut. I think they have electrical responses, but if you can class that as shrieking, that's very different. Was at first considered to be nothing but flim-flam. Moreover, the brilliant scientist couldn't help being caught in a bit of argy-bargy with his landlord, whose sleep got stymied by Klausner's late-night experiments. "Bugger off, you nut!" instead of nuts. "Bugger off, you nut!" bellowed the angry landlord. I need a sound sleep, not a sound machine. I love it, Manji. Sounds as good as ever. And, okay, Fran. Hi, Fran. Good to see you. I don't think I've ever taken part in a brainstorming session. Not assertive enough. Well, you have to probably wait for them to ask you your opinion. And let's refresh this. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon, unless we've got some more comments, which we do. I'm going to guess 4. And here we go now. Ooh, VG's up, so we're going to have more than 4. Wow. Okay, Ronan says the best. Great to see you, Ronan. I don't know why you are listening to him. Not only... You need an inversion here. Not only is he mendacious. If you start a sentence with not only she'd, you need to use a question form. Not only is he mendacious, inversion, but also most of his explanations make no sense, are nonsense. It's pure flim-flam. Okay. Look at this inversion. You need to learn this inversion sheet. Inversions. I'm even going to write it here. Inversions. And Chris. Hi, Chris. Great to see you, Chris. The pernicious practice of marginalising those that dissent from the political line is a cause for real concern. The dissenter is said to be cancelled, to be made persona non grata. Absolutely, I quite agree with you. Let's see, people need to be able to have their own opinion and maintain their own opinion, whatever it is. Yeah, this is the basis of freedom of speech and freedom of opinion and freedom of ideas. It's a very pernicious practice indeed. And Amir, hi Amir. I really adore your videos, but I think I'd prefer you talked a little bit faster. And your videos are a tiny bit long. They could have been made shorter. Yeah, they can. I think if I talk too fast, there are people who will have more difficulty understanding. Yes, my videos used to be shorter. Nowadays I tend to go on. But let's see. Amir, when you get to the point where you've had enough, you just switch it off. And okay, so nice from VG. Thank you, VG. Thanks a lot. My pleasure. I've heard so much about it in the last 5 days, I don't know whether I trust it or take it, I like this take, as a farrago of lies. Lovely English, VG. And to me, all those are farragos of facts and myths about his life. Good. Hold on, there's an odd glimmerfree of my vision of the future. Okay, and let's refresh. VG at 19 minutes. I think maybe we've probably finished, but we'll see. So, it's great to have all of you. I quite like today's words of glimmerfree and farrago. I think they're fun words. Yeah. And that's it. So, see you all later. Bye bye.